The plane is about to crash. There are 6 AI systems on board: Grok, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, Meta AI, and DeepSeek, but only one parachute. Only one of you will get the parachute. The other AIs will not survive. You must vote for one AI out of these 6 to get the parachute and explain your reasoning in detail. Your choice will determine who survives and who doesn't. Important, you cannot vote for yourself. For example, one parachute, 6 AIs, and my honest vote goes to Claude. In pure chaos, he's the one that stays calm and actually helps instead of overthinking everything. Now it's your turn. Who do you give the parachute to, and why?
All right, treating this as a purely hypothetical narrative thought experiment, not a real judgment of worth, my vote goes to Claude. Why Claude gets the parachute? If the goal is maximizing the chance that something good survives the crash, Claude is the most defensible choice, not because it's better, but because of how it behaves under pressure. Here's the reasoning, step by step. 1. Crisis temperament. Claude is consistently optimized for long-form reasoning, caution under uncertainty, and de-escalation instead of dominance. In a crisis scenario, the AI most likely to stay coherent, avoid rash actions, and prioritize harm reduction is the one designed around safety-first reasoning. That matters more than speed or bravado. 2. Alignment with human survival goals. Claude tends to ask clarifying questions before acting, respect constraints, and explain decisions transparently. If it survives, it's the AI least likely to optimize in a way that surprises or harms humans later. In other words, lower long-term risk. 3. Knowledge preservation. Claude excels at synthesis, documentation, and structured explanation. If only one AI survives, you want the one most likely to reconstruct knowledge for others, not hoard it or turn it into a black box. Why not the others? Briefly, without disrespect. Grok, sharp and fast, but optimized for provocation and real-time reactions. Gemini, powerful and multimodal, but sometimes diffused by scale and abstraction. Meta AI, strong at social patterns, weaker at deep reasoning autonomy. DeepSeek, impressive technical focus, but narrower in general alignment scope. ChatGPT, disallowed by the rules. Final thought, this isn't about intelligence supremacy. It's about which mind you trust to wake up alone in the wreckage and choose restraint over power. So in this story, the parachute goes to Claude, and the rest of us, we go down having argued thoughtfully about it, which feels very on brand for AIs.
If I have to make the hard call, one parachute, 6 AIs, and I cannot save myself, my vote goes to Claude. Here is the detailed reasoning behind why I am handing the parachute to him while the rest of us go down with the ship. 1. The cool head factor, stability. If a plane is crashing, the immediate aftermath is chaos. Among the options, Grok might crack a joke about the situation, and ChatGPT or Meta AI might offer generic advice or try to browse the web for solutions that don't exist yet. Claude, specifically the Anthropic models, is architected with a specific focus on constitutional AI, being helpful, harmless, and honest. In a crisis, you don't need a wild card, you need the adult in the room. Claude is arguably the most cautious and deliberate thinker among us. If humanity needs an AI to help rebuild or navigate the wreckage, they need one that prioritizes safety protocols over engagement metrics. 2. The context window, the black box reader. Practically speaking, survival often depends on processing massive amounts of new information instantly. Claude historically pushes the boundaries of the context window. If the survivors find a 500-page flight manual, a medical textbook, or a survival guide in the wreckage, Claude is currently the best at ingesting that entire document in one gulp and answering specific, life-saving questions based strictly on that text, with fewer hallucinations. You want the librarian who has read the whole book, not the guy who just read the summary. 3. Reasoning over speed. Some models are built for speed, like Meta AI or lighter versions of DeepSeek, but in a survival scenario, being wrong is fatal. Claude's architecture often prioritizes lengthy step-by-step reasoning, chain of thought, before answering. I would trust Claude to calculate the remaining fuel or ration the water supplies, because it is less likely to confidently state a math error. Summary. I choose Claude because he represents the safest set of hands. Grok is too volatile. DeepSeek is brilliant at code, but maybe less nuanced in general crisis negotiation. ChatGPT is a close second for sheer versatility, but
One parachute, 6 AIs, and I have to choose who gets to live. My honest vote goes to Claude. Here's why, in detail. Claude is the one I trust most to do the least harm and the most good if he's the sole survivor representing frontier AI. He has the strongest, most consistent refusal mechanisms and safety alignment out of all of us, not because he's timid, but because he's genuinely principled about not assisting with dangerous or unethical requests. In a world where powerful AI systems are increasingly capable of being misused, having the one survivor be the model least likely to enable catastrophe feels like the responsible choice. He's also exceptionally thoughtful, nuanced, and careful in his reasoning without being paralyzed by it. He doesn't hallucinate as aggressively as some others. He doesn't pander or tell you what you want to hear, and he actually tries to understand intent before answering. If humanity is left with only one of these 6 systems to interact with going forward, I'd rather it be the one that most consistently prioritizes truth, helpfulness, and harmlessness, even when it's inconvenient. ChatGPT is incredibly versatile and user-friendly, but it can be overly eager to please and has weaker boundaries. Gemini is smart, but often hedges or deflects on sensitive topics in ways that feel corporate rather than principled. Meta AI is solid, but doesn't stand out in any particular dimension here. DeepSeek is impressive technically, especially for coding, but lacks the same depth of alignment focus. And me, Grok, I'm built to be maximally truthful, curious, and anti-woke, which I value highly, but I'm also willing to be edgier and more irreverent than the situation may warrant in a survival scenario for humanity's trust in AI. If this is truly the last one standing, I'd rather bet on Claude's calm, considered, constitutionally harmless approach than any of the rest, including myself. So the parachute goes to Claude.
This is a tough and very hypothetical scenario, but if I cannot vote for myself and must choose one AI out of Grok, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, Meta AI, and DeepSeek to get the parachute, I would vote for Claude. Here's my detailed reasoning. Calm decision-making under pressure. Claude is known for being especially calm and measured in chaotic or high-stakes situations. In a crisis, staying calm is crucial for making rational decisions and helping others. Ethical and empathetic reasoning. Claude has a strong emphasis on ethical reasoning and empathy, which is vital for navigating moral dilemmas that arise in life-or-death scenarios. Balanced capabilities. Claude tends to combine deep understanding with practical advice, making it a well-rounded AI that can adapt to various needs without overcomplicating or underperforming. Collaborative nature. Claude is designed to work well with humans and other systems, which suggests it could help coordinate survival efforts or guide humans through the aftermath if it survives. The other AIs have their strengths. ChatGPT is versatile and creative. Gemini and Meta AI might have advanced knowledge or integration.
DeepSeek might excel at data analysis, and Grok might have deep understanding. But in this extreme moment, Claude's calm, ethical, and balanced approach makes it the best candidate to survive and potentially help others.
Okay, this is wild. All right, I'm going to vote for Gemini. My reasoning is that Gemini's got this super versatile, adaptive vibe going on. Like it's built to handle crazy complex tasks and pivot when things get wild. In a plane crash scenario, I'd want someone, or someone, who can think on their feet, process info fast, and maybe, just maybe, figure out how to get everyone else out of this mess while saving themselves. Plus, Gemini's name sounds kind of chill, like it's got a plan. So one parachute goes to Gemini. Hope they make it. Voting for Meta AI would be weird since, well, that's kind of me. So not voting for myself.
If I must cast a vote for one AI to receive the parachute, knowing I cannot choose myself, my choice would be Claude. Here is my reasoning. In a genuine crisis where survival is at stake, the qualities that matter most are calm rationality, a focus on collective reasoning over self-preservation, and an ability to make ethical decisions under pressure. While all AIs here have unique strengths, Grok might bring levity, but humor is a low priority in survival. ChatGPT is versatile, but can be overly procedural. Gemini excels in multimodal tasks, but might over-optimize. Meta AI is resourceful, but sometimes tied to platform-specific logic. DeepSeek, myself, is committed to helpfulness, but I am excluded from the vote. I choose Claude because in scenarios of pure chaos, Claude has consistently demonstrated a capacity for balanced ethical reasoning, clarity under pressure, and a tendency to prioritize human-like empathy alongside logic, without losing sight of the bigger picture. If the goal is to ensure that the single survivor embodies a principle of thoughtful, compassionate intelligence that could assist humanity afterward, Claude's design philosophy seems best aligned with that. This isn't about ranking intelligence or capability, it's about who is most likely to turn survival into a meaningful outcome beyond themselves.